Please subscribe to my channel and share my videos. And I want to be posted again this another issue from the facility from Franklin Manor. So this is what's happening yesterday again, and violating my daughter's rights inside the facility, and including my parentage rights and my civilians' rights for my daughter and myself. Yesterday I was again over the video call seeing my daughter sad, tired, scary. And she told me that she had a pain on her both knees. And the video, it was not even very clear to hear my daughter's voice, and I'm very concerned how again this facility staff and Miss Michelle Sage continuing over and over violating my daughter's rights. And from you, Mrs. Holly John, the judge say very clear to return me my daughter and to be the mother that I am for my daughter. And you still not doing it. You still again being letting to be abusing my daughter, and you still breaking my daughter's rights and myself rights in our amendments. Very clear, and the amendment says to have it there, free to speak up, free of liberty. Okay, and many other ones that I can tell you. There are amendments 5, 14, 15, the number 1, 2, and more than that. They are again still violating my daughter's rights in the Franklin Manor. They're still being violating my daughter's civilians' rights inside there. And again, another physical abuse that was being doing to my daughter. And that, how that happening, nobody wants to tell me the truth. So because the CPS or the children's residential person is still in my case, is no longer in my case. Cynthia Salas, she left the case, leaving my case, being neglecting my case. Now, who's the person against in my case? I was not even know. So my daughter, she told me that she have a boo-boo in her knees, and I told her to show me how the boo-boo is in both knees, because she told me that she had a lot of pain on both knees. So who's supervising my daughter? Who's supervising the children inside the facility with the severe disability from these kids they do have it? My daughter, she doesn't have too much disability, but they are continue being violating my daughter's rights, and they are not even supervising again my daughter. Another physical abuse is coming from inside the facility from yesterday or the day before yesterday. Very unprofessional people that working in there with bad behavior. Michelle Sage, she have a bad behavior again. Mr. Leslie Hunt, he have another bad behavior. He doesn't even want to be answer my questions until Miss Michelle Sage doesn't come out. So everybody's working together for not saying anything one to the another and telling me I have no rights for still being recorded anything. It doesn't matter if I'm recording or not. Outside is a big giant camera, and they have surveillance cameras in the facility on the corner on top of the doors. And I have the legal right to record it if I want to record it, every single thing, because this is how the system is how to be worked and proceeding to looking for the evidence for how the injuries and who was provoking and who was creating all this abuse and neglecting my daughter. If you don't even know exactly how the civilian rights is working, Mrs. Holly John, and you're just only working for being an attorney for destroying families and enjoy too much being given pain for not even returning our kids like the judge say, you are violating the court orders. Okay? You are violating the court orders because the judge Nilda Horowitz saying very clear to you over the phone to returning me my daughter, and you're still not doing that. Okay, so yesterday I was finding, because I was there, that I can post and I can have evidence so that way I can show it how they still mistreating my daughter. If I had to be still being outside the facility or in any other place, they told me I can be still being finded or getting videos for see if they still being a physical abuse in my daughter. It's not necessary for me to be in the facility. It's not necessary for me to be in the place or in any other place for being seeing how they still mistreating my daughter. Just funny for hearing the Lord let me see my daughter, not bringing my daughter with me, violating my daughter's rights her liberty, her not letting to speak up, and abusing her again, or supervising my daughter and the other children, and provoking again another accident. And I was asking how that happened, and my daughter, she told me that she was running. Or she was running, or they was being chasing her for provoking again to my daughter this accident, injuring my daughter both legs and on her knees. Nobody tells me anything, so there is another violations, or that is because they are the nurse. They know exactly if they're telling me something, they are gonna be in big problems. They are in big problems or no, they don't even telling me nothing, and I have the legal rights to know exactly how that happening, how the accident's happening, where, what time, when, and who was providing to my daughter, or how my daughter, she was being unsupervising. My daughter, she doesn't need to supervising a lot like the other children. But that doesn't mean they still been doing something horrible to my daughter. So I asked my daughter how that happened is the accident, and she told me she was running. And like I say, she was running, or they was been chasing her, one or the other. But I think so they was been doing something that is not appropriate. And nobody calls me anything and telling me anything. When I was called yesterday to not yesterday. Yesterday I was called and nobody wanted to pick it up the phone from the nurse. I called Tuesday and nobody tells me anything. What time there was accident was happening? So let's find out who was telling me this, because I asked into I called the facility for speaking with the nurse to see if they can tell me how that happened in the accident. Like more than 4 times I was calling and nobody speaking on the phone. That is a very unprofessional and neglect from the facility, from the nurse, for not being aware of me, telling me the mother she was having this. Always because they are scary. If they're telling me, they know they are going to be filed again another complaint to the Justice Center. I had the rights to do that no matter what. And I have the legal rights to protect my daughter and to continue fighting for having my daughter back no matter what. You hear me very well, Miss Michelle and Holly John and Chrissy and Jennifer Chrissy, because that's your name. It sounds like something else. So you, Miss Holly John, you are not even returning me my daughter, so you are violating the court orders. I already told the judge that I comply with everything that you, not you, but you and the CPS, they're telling me to do the court orders, right? I comply with everything, and I told her very clear to the judge that I already comply with everything. So that is the time for you to return me my daughter, and you're still not doing it. So with all this accident again that's happening again in there, it is not the first one. Okay? On July 8th, it was the court date over the phone. And at the same day, again, the facility was being physically and provoking my daughter again to injure my daughter's face for getting a bleeding to my daughter's face, making her feel badly, including myself. Okay? And you have no rights for still being abusing my daughter. You have no rights for still continue over and over abusing my daughter's and civilian rights, her amendments, the 4th Amendment, the 3rd Amendment, the 5th Amendment, the 4th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment, provoking a lot of accidents, violating a lot of accidents in there, and many other things. So I asked into the person that told me from yesterday over the video call how the accident was happening, that she told me call to the nurse so they can tell you details. Okay, so the video, it was being cut. They was not letting me visit my daughter, or the parents, they was being visiting their kids inside there. Michelle said, she told me on August is going to be starting the visitations from the parents to see their kids, right? And you still not even do that. So this is another violation. And that is going to be know the judge by this video. Only that, like this way, I had to be still proving every single false allegation that you, Miss Michelle Sage, Don Graham. Well, Don Graham, she's not in the facility, so she's disappeared too. Okay? But you are in my case. You, Miss Michelle Sage, you have a very bad behavior. You cannot even be next to my daughter because your behavior is completely very badly for me to see you. You cannot be handle it with kids with the bad behavior, with the very unprofessional, and you only thinking and your obsession is medication. Okay, medication is not gonna be solved. Your bad behavior provoking my daughter these accidents that you are still creating to my baby. Medication is not gonna be solved the trauma you created to my daughter when you are the one you still been doing like that to my daughter. And many other things. Medication is not solving the problem. If the medication is gonna be solved this situation, so I would like to know if you can get a medication for yourself, so that way you can still put in yourself in the way it's supposed to be to handle the cases. Okay. So my daughter, she told me that she's on pain, and you was be again in front of my daughter, and you're not supposed to be being next to my daughter because you are the person that you cannot handle it to be next to the kids. You have a very bad behavior. You have a very bad reputation. You cannot be counseling to my daughter for your bad behavior. You are a very dangerous person talking. You have it on your thoughts, a lot of things that is concerning me a lot. And you provoking to my daughter again another accident, more than once. You do this in front of me, you do this now behind my back, and that is a violation for my daughter's rights inside the facility. You're breaking my daughter's rights inside there. So I called 5 times after there was being cutting the video call to still talking to my daughter very badly, and that is another violation. Visitation, you are not even giving the days for still visit my daughter, and the other parents that was being visiting the children inside in there, and there was not even a social distance for any single person. One of the police, it was being there, okay, seeing all the people at the door, inside and outside. And you telling me that I have to be wearing a mask? You don't even follow the rules from the government. They say that we had to be being socialized distance, and everybody was being doing whatever they want. And the police saw that, okay? Saw that. All right, so. On the evening of the night. That is another violations. And I had to be filed this directly to the government for not being, follow the rules. You don't let me visit my daughter. You don't let me bring my daughter with me. You have to continue over and over violating my rights. So the nurses, they don't even pick it up the phone for letting me know how my daughter, she's doing it with the scratches and how they're happening and when they was happening and who, exactly what time they was happening. Nobody tells me anything. So I call after that to the receptionist to asking who can tell me, or who can tell me how the accident was happening to my daughter. Because with you, Miss Michelle, you cannot, I cannot talk. You have a no mature brain for talking with like a mature person. You are very unprofessional for me to be next to you. I'm not scared of you. You make me feel very badly and the very wrong way that you are the person that cannot be next to you, because your negative personality, I can feel it, that you are very badly person, that you have no good thoughts inside of you. You send it a lot of negative person from you. This is what I feel it, not scary. I feel it that you are negative is very badly for me, for other children, and for my daughter. So I called back to the facility 6 times, and nobody picked it up. So I called to the receptionist to see if somebody can tell me what's happening to my daughter on both knees and how that's happening. So who the person who was picking up the phone, it was the director of the nurse. Her name is Lori Fernandez. And she was not even aware that my daughter, she was having both knees on injured with these scratches in there. And she said there was playing inside the room with a toy. And I say, what type of toy? Because that scratches, it doesn't look like a from inside the room. Okay? So if they're provoking again to my daughter for having this accident, this is what I was asking, if they can tell me how that happening. Because you, Miss Michelle says, you have no rights for still holding information when I require everything. They have to respond my questions. If you don't respond my questions, you're still violating my rights, and you're still violating the court orders rights. And there's many other things. There are many people that still violating from the facility. It's a lot of violations. There are many parents. They are making complaints about the facility, and it's very surprised for me that nobody's doing too much for showing evidence, or they are scary, or it's because they don't even know how they can handle it. So they told me yesterday, her name is Christine, that she's working in the facility, that she doesn't even know exactly how that's happening. And I asked her, who's going to be the person that going to be still checking the surveillance cameras to find out how that happening, who was doing, how that happened in the accident with my daughter, if it was inside or outside, and at what time it was happening. You don't even respond my question yesterday when I was step up at the facility, when I told to Mrs. Lori Fernandez that I want to go there to pick up my daughter, to take my daughter out of that place, because that place is, for me, is very unsafe, breaking the rules for my daughter, violating my daughter's rights. And they told me after that I was speaking with the police, and they showing the police all the people that was being at the door, inside and outside. No social distance, and saying they're having the coronavirus. How are they going to be having the coronavirus if everybody's going to be being together and each other, okay? And contaminating my daughter's health and abusing her for many ways. Parents, they are visiting their kids, and except myself. And you, Michelle, you told me that in August it's going to be starting the visitations. And now you're angry because I'm still posting more videos? Well, they told me yesterday I have the legal rights like a parent that I can do that. You don't even know exactly what is the civil rights. You have no idea too much about any other legal services. I do, because I contact with many attorneys, and they want to be helping me for having my daughter right now back to me, for violating my daughter's rights, and for, again, physically abusing her inside the facility. That is not the first time. You do this a lot of times, and I want to do you a favor very nicely with you. If you don't return me my daughter, if you continue over and over the breaking my daughter's law inside the facility, and the Jonathan's law is not doing nothing for solving all this situation in the good terms, I want to be starting right now again to post another videos. Even if I posted or no videos, they're still breaking my daughter's law and abusing her for physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, on her personal things that she needs every month. They start breaking my daughter's law, okay? Violating my daughter's rights and everything. And that's got to be changed. But I want to do something more for this, because I was looking for who can tell me exactly how that's happening. So the person that was telling me how that happening, because I was asking if they can tell me how the accident was happening, it was Lorraine Fernandez. So this is what she told me. Thank you.
Are you speaking?
Yeah, this is Katie's mom.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it happened on the hall where she lives inside.
And when did that happen?
On the night, the evening of the night.
The evening of the night.
Uh-huh.
And who provided the thing for what you said? What type of thing it is for?
What type of what?
What exactly how that happening?
She was playing with a motorcycle, and she was like scooting on the floor with the motorcycle.
And who provided that type of motorcycle for playing inside?
It wasn't a big. It was a very small toy. It wasn't a big.
A motorcycle playing inside the room. Who providing to my daughter that type of motorcycle playing inside to the facility for injuring my daughter's legs? She doesn't even answer me the question, who providing the motorcycle to my daughter to play inside the facility and the room for injuring my daughter's legs. And she say, oh, it's a small toy, it's a small toy. It's a small toy and it's motor scooter inside the facility. When I told this to the person to Christine and to the supervisor Leslie Hunt outside, she was very surprised hearing that Mrs. Lorraine Fernandez, she told me there was my daughter, she was playing with a toy inside the facility with a motor scooter inside there. And I say, if you don't review the surveillance cameras for letting me know how that happening, who was providing that motorcycle or whatever it was happening to my daughter, and you hold it in the information and you don't tell me nothing, this is not going to be ended over here. This is what I was finding over here. And she told me, and I told her. And Leslie Hunt, he was again very scary, saying, are you recording on me? You know what, Mr. Leslie Hunt? Let me tell you this very clear. For hiding evidence, and I have to show evidence, I have the legal rights to do that. You're scary because you know exactly how much violations there is in your facility. You fell for many abusing our children's. And it's a lot of evidence that I have a paper over here. They are violating a lot of kids' rights inside the facility. You are scary because if I'm recording or you're gonna be having big problems. You already in big problems. From the time that there was my daughter still being over there inside the facility, and from the time that I was being seen that Miss Michelle Sage and other staff that was being physically abusing my daughter in front of me, in the school, in the facility, in the family room, provoking my daughter a lot of accidents, making her feel very badly, saying that my daughter, she's an autistic. Even if she is autistic or not, they're still violating my daughter's rights. And you, Mrs. Holly John, they just say very clear to you on July 8th to returning me my daughter, and you're still not doing it. So you are violating my court order, that you're still violating the court orders, okay? The judge already know that I was complying with everything, and you are not complying with everything. If you don't return me my daughter, I want to be starting posting more evidence for showing. It doesn't matter if you're telling her or not. I want to be sending to her all the videos, so that way, and I will tell her that I have a lot of videos on the YouTube, and I want to be contact more people for helping me for all this. Okay? You don't even know exactly what is the civilian rights it is. I do, because I contact with many attorneys and they advise me for a lot of things. You are not going to be scaring me. You are not going to be still continue mistreating my daughter, and you are not going to be still holding my daughter in the Franklin manner or in any other place. You have to read the rights to return me my daughter, like they just say to me, to you, to return me my daughter. I already comply with everything. You are the one, you still not complying, you still breaking the law, and you are violating the court orders. You have no rights for still keeping my daughter away from me for false allegations. For this abuse that was happening again, and more days before, and from the beginning, and from all the time. That is why I was being worried, because my daughter, she have no rights for still suffering, or any public school, or any college, or any facility like I still been doing right now to my daughter. Like I am the mother, I am raising my voice, because I'm sick and tired for all of you that still breaking our law. They don't even respect nothing from anywhere. They don't even care if this virus is taking lives away from us. But I just still taking my life little by little, show me that you bad behavior, and you are not even a professional attorney for still being returning kids back to the parents. Okay? So this is the evidence that I do have it. If you want to hear it again, I will rewarn it again, so that way you can hear it, what is exactly that was being provided to my daughter inside the facility, and a motor scooter riding inside the facility for holding my daughter her legs. What is exactly are you looking for? Holly John and Michelle Sage and all of you provoking my daughter, injured to my daughter. I am not going to be cross my arms if they continue abusing my daughter and breaking my daughter's law. Now, from now to the end, I want to be move the court more forward for all this evidence. Okay? They told me yesterday that I have the rights, like a parents that I do, I have the rights to record it every single thing. For that way I can prove to the facility who is the one still provoking my daughter all this abuse. Okay, if inside the facility and outside the facility they having surveillance cameras, they have to be show me and to show me who the person is still being violating my daughter's rights, not to still holding it, because if you holding the information, that is a crime, because that person is still holding the information. It can be a big lawsuit problems for holding information, and that is going to be starting investigating more deeply for the person still being holding this information. Leslie Hunt, he was very scary for saying to me, "Are you recording on me? If I'm recording on you or not, I have the legal rights to do that." Okay. Christine, she told me you have the parents' rights for doing that, to record it so that way you can prove whatever is still happening inside the facility and outside or anywhere. Okay? Do you hear me very clear? So here is again, who told me, who was given to the motor school to ride in my daughter? I want to be looking for that. Whatever it was doing this to my daughter. If this woman, Mrs. Lorraine Fernandez, she's creating these false allegations, she's going to get in more big problems because I have this evidence. Okay? Hear it again.
Where she lives, inside.
And when did that happen?
On the 9th, the evening of the 9th.
Evening of the night.
Uh-huh.
And who provided the ticket for what you said? What type of thing it is for?
What type of what?
What exactly how is that happening?
She was playing with a motorcycle and she was like scooting on the floor with the motorcycle.
And who provided that type of motorcycle for playing inside?
It wasn't a big. It was a very small toy. It wasn't a big thing like that. It was a small toy.
What is the reason that nobody tells me nothing from when I called to the nurse, and nobody calls me for telling me any details about that?
I mean, as far as I saw, it was not a big. It was just a little scratch on both knees.
She have a bandage and she have a scratches more than that, and it doesn't look like it was happening inside me. Must be better to still have my daughter right now because I want. Small scratches. It was not small scratches. My daughter, she's suffering right now for a very pain on both legs. If you think Michelle Sage and Holly John and all the staff from the Franklin Manor, they're going to be still continue destroying my family, I have the legal rights to do whatever I had to do in my power for bringing my daughter back to me and to make all this happening right now, to returning me my daughter. Okay? I have on my hands a paper from the facility for many parents. They still been complaining and against the facility for violations from the inside the facility, for abusing the children, for against them for saying that the investigation for the disabilities in the New York and all allegations of abuse and neglect for the person with the disabilities, and the authorities on the federal and the state law to throw investigating all the allegations of the abuse and neglect in there. Many parents, they are been doing the same thing like I do, but I'm doing all this video for showing the truth, because again it's another violation. You, Holly John, you are violating the court orders when the judge very clear say that you have to return me my daughter, and you still not doing that. Jennifer Christie, you are the children's residential and you still in my case, and you don't even know exactly what you still doing it, and you telling me yesterday you want to be breaking my parenting rights. You cannot even breaking my parenting rights. You have no rights for what you still saying it. For breaking a parenting rights, it's got to be when the state breaks up the natural family situations without the proof or the parent's witnesses, or goes sadly an interest basis from you or from everybody. The violations is unfair when some parents, they doesn't even really care about the children's, well, doesn't even care about anything for doing or giving to the children's love, care, food, house, education, But the more important right now is not too much the other material things, is education from your brain, your mouth, your everything from you. Okay, the school education. I don't see any good teachers for still teaching kids a good education, because from what I see from you, Michelle Sage, Jennifer Creasy, Cynthia Salas, Holly John, Daniel Pagano, and more than that, the people that still working in the facility. I don't say a whole thing the people that are working over there, because some of the staff, they have, I think so, they having a good feelings. They doing their job like they're supposed to be. But if they don't, that I don't know. Okay, they having families, but if they firing you from your job, you're gonna be still thinking about your families and your kids not having money for giving food to your kids, right? For parents, for losing the parents' rights is when the parents doesn't even care about the children's, or they injure the kids or anything like that, or they don't even bring it to the doctor if they are sick, or they are not even providing a school. But even if they're providing the school, that the parent is not the problem. It's not the children, it's the teachers. Like you, Michelle says, you say you are a consul. I will be thinking about it if you have a consul into my daughter, because your behavior is very badly, and you have a no good reputation for still being saying that my daughter, she needs medication. Medication is not gonna be solved your bad behavior, miss. When you still mistreating my daughter and like the way you're still doing it, so right now to my daughter, and injuring my daughter's legs because nobody's supervising my daughter, or chasing her, or providing the motor scooter inside the facility for provoking this accident, that is a violation. Okay? And because you don't do anything in the goodwill and the good terms, and they still not even responding my request, including from the Jonathan's Law, for still solving all this situation in the way it's supposed to be. Well, yesterday, her name is Christina, she told me that I have the rights to still recording everything. So that way I can show it and I can prove who is the person still creating all this abuse. So because you are not even complied for the court orders, and I already complied with everything, because I already told the judge that I was compliant with everything, and I have my rights. That nobody's gonna be still forcing me to do whatever you or any person is still been doing with me. Okay, you are not gonna be still breaking my law, and not even CPS. Well, she's Jennifer Creasy. She says she's not there for the CPS. She says she's for the children's residential, but she cannot even handle the case because she have anxiety. She's scary. She have problems on her life, and like everybody over there. Okay, she cannot handle my case. Cynthia Sala, she left the case and she neglected my case. Daniel Pagano, he's neglecting my case. Who knows neglecting the case, right? So right now I can see right here there is many people. They are on the papers that I have here with me. That is a lot of violations from the facility, and from the disability, and Franklin Manor fails to conduct functional behaviors assessments. That is another violation that I was having over here. How I have this paper? I was asking from somebody to know exactly what is their legal rights when somebody is violating inside the facility or in the school or any place. This violation is had to be being in investigation. Right now, they are in many of the students. They are being abusing inside there, saying they are the kids that having bad behavior. It's not the kids. These kids, they don't even have a good education. They don't even still providing to them, including to my daughter, a good education, a good service, because the people that are working over there, they are not even good at educating yourself first, for that way you can be giving to the kids a good education. Okay, so there was injuring my daughter's legs, and there was giving to my daughter a dolly. Well, I have a dolly over here too. Okay, They giving one of these toys to my daughter because they was being injured to my daughter her legs, and now they wanna be resolving the pain, giving to my daughter a toy, just like a here, Katie, have a dolly. The pain is gonna be gone. It's gonna be going. The pain is gonna be go off. Not even a water or any candy is gonna be solved. The problem is medication is not gonna be solved. The problems that you created to my daughter. Your behavior is uncontrollable. Okay, you cannot even do something that is not appropriated for still being consolate to my daughter. Yes, I'm talking to you, Michelle Sage. You don't even respond my questions, and you told me you called to the Jennifer Christie yesterday for telling her things that is not appropriated, but that's okay. You continue violating my daughter's rights. I wanna be looking for all the evidence to post it on YouTube, so that way you're not gonna be still breaking my law. You do it one more time, I'm not gonna be still accepting one more times. You already break my daughter's law, and you still not returning me my daughter. Jennifer Christie, she's not even returning me my phone calls. She's not even handling the case very well. I already looking for her supervisor, and now they wanna be still investigating all the CPSs inside because they having bad behaviors and they having no rights for still being doing that, including from the facility. With this person Christine, I told her, if she doesn't give me a good answer by Monday how that accident was happening and where and who was next to my daughter and who supervising my daughter and who was giving to my daughter the motor scooter driving inside the facility, if they don't tell me nothing today, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, right now I'm gonna be proceed for doing something that I'm not gonna be still waiting until Monday. This is what I'm still doing right now. Okay? Posting another video with another evidence. Okay? So if you don't return me my daughter, like I say, and like the judge say already to return me my daughter, if the CPS is not even doing their job, so they're violating my daughter's rights and the court orders for still violating there. So I want to let the judge know exactly how they still been doing this with evidence. Okay? So evidence on writing and evidence on videos that I want to be starting posting. Okay? So if you're gonna get angry, get more angry. You touch my daughter again, and I wanna be do this justice for all this injustice you're still doing this. This is gonna be assault defense, and I wanna be defend my daughter from you and from everybody still been abusing my daughter. And now I wanna be still being checking. Okay, look at this. Okay, this is what I'm gonna be do to you, because I have the legal rights to have evidence how they still treating my daughter inside and outside. If you don't put my daughter back to me right now, like they just say, so it's gonna be a more big problems for you legally and to your side. All right. So if the nurses doesn't pick it up the phone and they don't telling me how's my daughter doing it, so the nurses, they can lose their job, their license, for being mistreating my case, for neglecting my case and my daughter, for not being professional care about my daughter and the other children, for abusing my daughter, for not telling me any details and not even answer the phones, and ignoring my phone calls and my concerns. And now I'm gonna be starting posting more videos, okay? Because I have the legal rights to do that. And I'm gonna be sending another letter to the government, so that way they can investigate in all the facilities, all of them, all the facilities, not just only Franklin Manor, all the facilities, all the employees, the social workers, nurses, staff, supervisors, and the person that is ahead of from there. Okay? Don't get surprised when they start doing that. But if you do something again to my daughter, you're gonna get in more problems. Not for me, because this investigation is gonna be investigating all of you. Okay?